Hello everyone. So today we will discuss about encoder and decoder, a very important topic in digital electronics. So in this presentation we will try to understand what are encoder and decoder circuits, what are the type of encoders, what are the differences between encoder and decoder, and why to use encoder and decoder. So there are few points which I have listed down and that's related to the encoder and decoder. So we'll try to understand each point through examples or through the help of circuits. The first point is encoder and decoders are combinational circuit. So as you know, combinational circuit are the combination of logic gates. That means you can describe the encoder and decoder as a combination of logic gates. Okay. The second point is encoder converts 2 to the power n lines of input into the code of n bits. So what does it mean? You can see this encoder where there are n input lines and m output line. Now we want to find the expression for the relationship between n input line and m output line. So let's take an example where I have 4 input line I0, I1, I2 and I3. And now I want to find the output lines. So let me tell you a very important information. Encoder also minimizes the data lines. Okay, it minimizes the data lines. So for simple encoder, let's assume that at a time only one input is active. Okay, when one input is active, either I0 is high, I1 is high, I2 is high, or I3 is high. Okay, and as you know, we can express four input line as a combination of 2 bits. Okay, so we can express 4 input as a combination of 2 bits. So I0 can be expressed as 00, I1 we can write as a 01, I2 we can write as a 10, and I3 we can write as a 11. So if I2 is high at a time, we can write output as a 1 and 0 over here. Okay, so now we have a figure out the output is 2. Okay, so 4 is to 2. Now, so this is my encoder, and now if I want to decode this informations, so I will have 4 output lines. Okay, which is O0, O1, O2 and O3. So for this 1 and 0 as input to the decoder, my output will be O2. Okay, so this is my decoder circuit, which is 2 is to 4 decoder. Now I want to find the relationship between n input lines and m output lines. So for encoder, let's suppose n is equal to 4 and we can write this as a 2 to the power 2. So here my input line is 4 and my output is 2 line, which we can also write as a n is equal to 2 to the power m. Okay, so this is my relation. Now there are different type of encoder. So the first is priority encoder. It is also a very important concept. We'll try to study in the next tutorial. The second is decimal to BCD. The third is octal to binary, and the fourth is hexadecimal to binary. So these are the type of encoder. Okay. Now let's take an example of this 8 is to 3 octal encoder. Okay, so this is my octal encoder. Let's take an example where I have a 8 input line. Okay, and there are 3 output lines. So you can take that relationship n is equal to 8, which is 2 to the power 3. So my 3 is the output line over here. Okay, now I have already written a truth table over here. Okay, so my inputs are D7 to D0 and the outputs are XYZ. Okay, now as I said, For simple encoder, it is assumed that only one of the input is active. So you can see here, right? Only one input is active at a time. So my D0 is active over here, my 1 is active over here. Okay. And for against these digital inputs, I have my outputs. Okay. So how can I write my expression for XYZ? So you just see this column, okay, where your output X is active for which of the inputs, okay. So one is active over here against this, against this, against this. So you can write X as a, you see D4, D5, D7, you can write D4, D5, D6 plus D7. Also Y you can write as a, you see here D6 and D7 plus you write it as a D2 and D3. So this is how for Z also you can write, and please comment the answer